Thank you for being here today. We're going to sort of jump right on into our program because we have several presenters, and I want you to hear about some of the great things that's going on. The first presentation is going to be by Dan St. Louis of the Manufacturing Solutions Center, and this is one of the hidden jewels here in Catawba County. If you're not familiar with this is something that you need to really become familiar with, and as you're talking to people outside of Catawba County, let them know what kind of resource we have. And I said outside of Catawba County, but it may be just as important to let people inside of Catawba County. Dan, there's a lot of people that don't know about what's going on and the resources that you have available. So we welcome you this morning, and we'll turn it over to you.
Well, I'll try to keep it flowing as quick as I can. You guys, we all know where we've been hit in the last several years as far as the economic, loss of jobs and everything. And I won't go into all the details, but we're part of the community college system. We've been around for 20 years now. We started off as a Hoosier Technology Center, and we've kind of grown quite a bit. We started off with the county appropriation. We had legislation very early on to work throughout the entire state, and that has helped us quite a bit. We're a very different program in that we don't function just simply on training or anything else. That's part of what we do, certainly, but we're a lot more on economic development. Everybody we have came out of industry, so we're a little bit different in the way we've grown. We actually were started from the industry in this area. We're state and federally funded, and also self-supporting, about 60%. The counties last year with recent MSC projects, we hit 44 counties. We hit 46 states last year. So we do get into quite a bit of different areas. But you might think, well, why in the world would I help somebody in Iowa? Well, maybe we help somebody in Iowa and they buy their packaging here, or maybe they buy their yarn back in Gaston County. So it really doesn't. You really don't want to be in just one area. Everything ties in. There's a lot of tie-ins. You don't just stop at a county line or a border. We found that almost always, if you work with folks, there's tie-ins and there's tie-backs, and it helps the overall. We did for about 17 years work. Mostly with Hosier, but we started branching out because for us it's all about jobs. What can we do to help with jobs? And we've got a lot of equipment, and we'll go over some of the services that we have that would help other industries. And when we've always worked very closely with, it could be anything from a company as large as Vista to a housewife with real good ideas. And so that's a real broad spectrum. But it doesn't matter what industry, it's the same issues in most cases. And Bill, from working with folks, it's access to capital, it's knowing what your time restraints are and what your product is. A lot of folks think, hey, I got a great idea. Oh, everybody in the world will love it. Nah, it's never the idea. It's the implementation of that idea, and that's what really makes it, regardless of what it is. So we were starting to get a lot of requests from other industries. It certainly will help them, but it doesn't help if I'm giving them a hosiery card and they're in metalworking or furniture or something else. So we officially changed our name, and we've worked with a number of different industries, and we are working with a number of different industries. Right now, we've probably got pretty close to 20 projects in process right this minute that we're working on new developments or new ideas, or trying to help an entrepreneur go forward. Some of our services, what we do, we have a testing center that got started from the industry. We back in about 2000, I started getting actually earlier than that, I started getting calls. Dan, I got a 10. 10 what? I don't know. They just rejected 20,000 dozen. Well, but I got to have a 9.9. 9.9 what? I don't know. They've got it at this lab up in Massachusetts. Well, who else has it? What kind of machine is it? I don't know. Who else has one of those machines? Well, nobody. They're the only ones that have it. So basically, what they were doing as an industry, what was happening to us, labs were going to retailers and say, oh, by the way, we'll get you a better product. Ron, we're gonna get you a better product. And by the way, it won't cost you anything because we're gonna charge Jeff over here. And by the way, if we charge him $250, we'll give you $50. So it's a good deal for the retailer. Obviously, they bought into it, but as an industry, we get this call, and we don't mind being tested, but we hadn't done our homework as far as laying out exactly how we wanted to be testing, so you could be set up, if it could be Dan's super duper test and we can convince it sounds good, start making money. So we got a group together, started working on test methods, and after a 3-year project, ended up about 100 people on that committee. We had NC State, we had the College of Textile, we had 3 different associations, there was about 40 different manufacturers. We came up with the way we wanted to be tested. That was great. I didn't want a testing lab, but we had a rollout, had about 180 people there, the Walmarts, Kmarts, those folks in the world. Everything changed over. They all changed their method. I was happy I didn't have a testing lab because I really didn't want one. But about a month afterward, I got a call from a large manufacturer about to lose an $80 million order for a test method we knew was plus or minus 30%. It wasn't a test method. And so he called me on Thursday. We went up Friday, ran the test. There wasn't anything wrong with his socks, and he got we ran his test that Friday, sent the results in Saturday. They got their business back Monday, and Tuesday I had a call from a retailer saying, "Hey, would you do our testing?" I said, "Well, I've got one part-time person in the non-full lab." She said, "We'll grow with it," and that's been like that, and it was one of the best things that we ever did because it helps. Because we can test a lot of different things. And I'll go over some of the things that we do. We actually have got our ISO certification. We're CPSC certified, so we can do Consumer Product Safety Commission testing for lead and other things. We are on their website and everything else. But we're a little different in that we don't just test. Our little niche is we actually help other testing labs. We just want folks to do it right. What we do is if there's a problem, say it's color fastener or something, I can bring a dyer with 40 years experience. If it's a problem with streaks or whatever, we've got folks who worked in the yarn industry. So it's how do we solve the problem, not just doing the testing. In fact, we let other labs come in, we'll show them what we do, we help them, we go up there. So it's not a competition type thing. We do stuff that they don't want to do, which is fine. That's where we go. Some of the testing we do, and we're adding stuff to this all the time. I won't read the whole list. Some of the things we can do, antimicrobial testing, we are ISO certified on that. When you see the 99% it'll kill or whatever on fabrics, things like that, we do that. We're adding more testing to that. We're looking at doing plastics testing, some of those things, because the antimicrobial is a big deal. A lot of folks want to know what they can do. We're one of the only compression testing labs for textiles where we can do in the Western Hemisphere, where we can do graduated compression testing for, like if you got anti-embolism stockings or whatever, to give you the millimeters of mercury, just like your blood pressure. So that if they're building garments to do that, we're looking at how do we do that for upper body stuff, because you see that as a big thing with the Under Armours and those kind of things in the world, so those kind of folks. So we deal a lot with a lot of different folks. These are some of our customers. We currently test for about 250 different people throughout the country. You may know a few of these folks on there. And a lot of them come here. It's everything from textiles to network security to batteries. We've got a company out in the western part of the state, the eastern part of the state that does these little batteries. When you, if your plane crashed in the water and you pull on the little vest, and the battery gets, or the buoyancy compensator gets wet, your little life preserver, well, it automatically kicks on. And we've made some prototypes and stuff for the battery holders. So we do a lot of different things, and all this over the years doing this testing, it really helps us because we've got some connections to these companies with the Targets of the world and the Kmarts and those folks. So we know retail, we work with those folks. So sometimes we can help get things in, help entrepreneurs get their product out there. We do some training, no doubt. Most of it's customized, it's in plant. We work with other folks. We really don't care who, because we're never going to run enough classes to earn big FTEs or anything else, full-time equivalences, which is where in education you get a lot of your funding from. So we don't really, our classes are a lot smaller and things like that. We'll farm it out to other folks if we can't do it, and that's perfectly fine. And that's kind of our philosophy anyway on a lot of things. We have a lot of partners. Our 3D modeling, we have Sid's here with the NCCET. That's a huge partnership for us. Sid helps us so much. I mean, we've got our most expensive piece of equipment over in his lab. You know, it makes a lot of sense because he can use our equipment if he needs it. He lets us use theirs. It's kind of a unique partnership, but it's been great for us, and I appreciate it, Sid. I can't say it enough because it helps our customers. Because if you're a manufacturer, you don't care who solves the problem, and that's kind of philosophy anyway. It doesn't matter, just as long as it gets solved. There's enough problems out there for everybody to go around. If you've ever been in manufacturing, you know that. So we have a lot of partnerships to reverse engineering, and that helps us so much when you have an entrepreneur or a larger company that needs something done. If we can get it done quickly and turn it, and certainly his lab is, on plastics and other things, it's fabulous to be able to have a resource like that in his county. And that's what the taxpayers would rather have anyway. They don't want me to recreate what he's got and vice versa. And we've been very careful about what we buy and how we get things so that we're not trying to duplicate other folks' stuff. Sometimes it happens, but we try not to. Here's an example of a local company that was getting prototypes made in China. It was taking them several weeks to get it done, and it wasn't right half the time. And then you're communicating, trying to go back and forth, and we were able to do this, and it's being sold right now at Walmart and other places, and it's been worth several $1 million. So here's another one that came in. The drawing was on a napkin. We actually helped them put it into CAD, get the product prototype. That's an example of it down there. That's a local company just down the street from here. Actually, we found a person to do that. Well, Sid did some of the metalworking work on this. We did some of the prototyping initially. We found a company out of Marion to supply the aluminum stock, and found another company to do the machining. So it all kind of works out, and it goes from beginning to end, and that's in Harley-Davidson motorcycles right now. We also do some things on the marketing side, which is a little different from a typical community program, college program. Over the years, we knew we started this probably in '97 trying to learn, and we're still learning about how to try to get things to the marketplace. But we've worked a lot with the international sales through the Department of Commerce in both North Carolina and the U.S. Department of Commerce. We had a grant that was given to us back in 2005. We've been working on trying to get small guys to work together to go sell. We pulled together 54 companies over our 3-year grant. It was a $396,000 grant, but we turned a 53-to-1 return on investment on that grant. In actual new sales, this isn't stuff they were already doing. This is new sales for companies, and it's still going on, which is what you want. And the nice thing about that is we've got a group right now of 14 furniture manufacturers, saw what the textiles and hosiery guys did, and they're pulling together to try to sell. They've been at the last 2 High Point shows called American Furniture Exporters. We don't have a grant for them. We're trying to pull it together, but they saw what the textile guys did, and their joint marketing to sell. Because if you're a small guy, how are you gonna? It's hard to get attention in a show or in another country or something like that. But if you pull it all together, you can have a lot better presence. You can sell more.